and welcome to Pantheon of the Geeks.
Whoa!
Halloween special. Woo! Spirits, Vengeful Spirits. Woo! So this is a Halloween special unboxing from Malifaux. We're going to unbox Kiri.
Woo!
Woo!
What's with the ghost noises?
Well, you know, it's Halloween, isn't it? What are you scared of?
I'm scared of vengeful spirits.
Well, spirits, ghosts, very similar. Right. Besides, you were doing them as well, don't you? Right. Okay. So let's get this undone. Poltergeist are trying to stop me there. Crikey.
You're having a bit of a fight there.
Yeah. Box one, I think. Right, let's have a look at the model. Oh, God, that's creepy.
That was, yeah. I hope that picked up on camera.
It's like the door is opening. Wow. Okay, so the back of the box, before we go any further, tells you the contents. 2 Shenshin, 2 Honoro. I'm not sure if I'm saying any of this right, by the way.
We'll
and a Kirio, Lost Love, and Kiri. And then we have a piece of foam, as always. And we have the telling us where to go for the instructions. And here is the sprue. Everything's on one sprue there. Okay, so we've got the Senshin there. You have to excuse the paint on hand again. Another Senshin there. That's Kiri, that little bit there. Onryo, 1 and 2 there. Lost Love's there, that's a totem. And the Kirio is there, which is really annoyed Kiri. That's a vengeful part of it. We have various bases in here, and we have the cards here. Let's open this up.
Do you want me to make a start?
You can make a start by cutting off whichever one looks like it's going to be the hardest to put together. So we have the crew cards there, and then we have big upgrade cards as well. So everything we need to play this crew. So, while Claire's cutting each one of them off into their individual parts, let's have a look. I'll look for the fiddly bits, because there's normally one that's got really fiddly bits on. Maybe them. Essentially look pretty straightforward. Which one's that? Kiri?
Come here.
Okay, so they're all there. So let's start with these guys. Look about the fiddliest, maybe?
Senshin.
Onryo.
Onryo, sorry.
I think everything else looks pretty straightforward, so we'll start with them. So do we have the instructions?
No.
Let's go and get them. Okay, we're back. So if you want the instruction, they're at this website. You usually get one of these little slips in here. They're at malifaux.com. Now that's actually changed. If you do a search for it, you will find it. If you look on Claire's Kindle, there we go. That's the actual address at the top. It's at weirdgames.net now. But you can find the build instructions. It's quite obvious where they're on the website.
Yeah, if you just type in Google Malifaux build instructions,
yeah,
it comes up with that page. It's like a little search engine where you can search for the box sets. So
those are the 2 Onryo, or Onro, Euro. I don't know how you say it, I really don't, sorry.
Onryo?
Yeah, maybe. So there's just these parts here, which are like 3 cloak parts. They're not numbered or anything, these, are they?
No, you've just got Onryo 1 and Onryo 2.
You get spoiled with Games Workshop numbering techniques, so... so you got the hand there, then the other hand. There's a fan in the other hand as well.
No, it's just his hand, and then you've got a fan in one hand.
Right. So we're going to build these 2 first, because they probably look like they're the most faffy. We'll start with number 1, if it is number 1.
Yeah.
Yep, and then we shall put that together. Also a note, the bases I'm going to be using, oh, here we go, focus, camera, thank you. The bases we're going to be using are these ones, which are model display products bases, which I got from Firestorm Games. So if I remember, I'll put a link in for Firestorm Games. If I don't, it's firestormgames.co.uk. So bang that into Google, you should be able to find it. We're using some of the small round-lipped oriental bases for the smaller ones. The larger one I'm going to attempt to make a version of one of these. And just to let you see what some of these look like. They're pretty good. Only cost me £4 English, and you get 10 of them in the pack. So there's more than enough for a single crew with some spares left over. There we go. I think they're pretty good actually, especially for the price. There we go. Boom! Throw them everywhere. So there you go, there you get the idea. So I'm going to be choosing some of them as I'm going along. There is a larger base in the pack for the Ikirio, or whatever it's called, Kiro thing of Wrath. Doing well today. It's scary, the ghost is sapping my intelligence. I'm going to make a base for that. I'll show you what I'm doing for that in a minute. So yeah, so we're back with you when we've got all the bits off this sprue. I'm ready to begin. So here we are with all the pieces for the first Unreal. I'll keep calling that Oreo. First Oreo. And we have the two lower parts there. Those two just simply go together. Like that. Sure, that is together. So the connection to the base, if anyone was wondering, I was obviously sticking it on these other bases. It's quite large. So when I'm choosing a base, that's obviously got something to take into consideration. Quite glad about that really. The next part is probably, where are we? This bit here, which will go and attach itself somewhere along here. This bit I haven't dry fitted, so bear with me. Okay, so just in case you are following the instructions online, there we go. This bit here, which now I spent it's like 15 minutes trying to figure out how this goes onto the bottom part. It doesn't go onto the bottom part at all. This little arrow here is a lie. It doesn't attach there whatsoever. This part here attaches to the top part of the body, just underneath the arm, just there. So there we go. So if you're following it, that's very deceptive. So be warned, that bit should be pointing up there in that direction. So now we've got the base part together. The next part is actually the top part of the body, not that bit, because we'll have to stick the top part of the body on first, which makes much more sense.
So after having like 2 hours of shouting you at the thing.
How do you go together, Dumbo? Like that. Come on, glue. There we go. So the top part of the body just goes onto the bottom part of the body like that. So before we move on, I'm going to want this to be fully set. So it'll be a couple of minutes and I'll be back with you. Okay, now that's dry, we're going to add on this piece, which will go underneath that arm there. We just need to put some glue on there. Hopefully that should go on. Without any problems. Excellent. So on the opposite side to that we have this little bit which fits into the little nick in the jacket there. And that bit's just going to go on there. So once this is dried, I'm going to stick this bit on, and once they're both dried I'll be back with you. Okay, so those two bits on there. The next part is just on the belt. You can see that little slot on the belt. That's for this tiny little bit of cord or a cloth or whatever you call it.
Probably.
For the belt. And that would just go straight in there. So a little bit of glue. And then try and figure out which way around it goes exactly. Like that. By the looks of it on the picture. I believe that is the correct way around. Yep, just slot that straight into position there. Easy as. So while we're waiting for that to dry, the head, which is there, and then the hair, which is there, go together. There's a bit on the back of the head, which just fits into this bit here, like so. So I'm just going to stick those two parts together while the rest of it's drying. And then you end up with that. Okay, so next up is the left arm, which is this bit here, with the hand on. There's a sleeve part, so like an extended sleeve.
The sleeve, yeah.
So that's going to go, I mind not which way around that goes. Is it the other way? That's going to go on there, pretty much like that. So, straightforward. Like that. So I'll just go wait for all those parts to dry before moving on, because I don't want anything to get knocked off. When we come back, we've got the right arm and the left arm, then the head to go on. Okay, so we're going to put on the arms. This one being the first. Get into the right position. There we go. So that one's kind of, seems like it's flopping down a bit actually. There we go. Because the body's actually moving in that direction, it is pretty sort of horizontal in that respect. Not like that, it's like moving back. So the other hand, let's see what he's doing with the other hand. Just like he's,
I think it's like it's straightforward.
like he's doing some sort of shoeing action.
Yeah.
Get away from me.
Wafting his fan.
Yeah, that's pretty much what he's doing.
Yeah, he's wafting his fan in someone's face along with wafting his other hand.
You can see that on that. And put the head on. Which there's a little groove in the hair to go over the shoulder, so not let me know if I put it in the right place or not. Appears to be in the right place. Plus there was a nasty little gap there as well, I actually covered that up with that. Cool, so that is the first model. I think I'm going to put them on this base, sort of following the path backwards like that. So I'm going to stick him on and then we'll move on to the next one. Okay, so this is the main part of the body and sort of like the centre part of the model. This piece here will go on the front, like that, and then this piece here fits onto the back pretty snugly, like that. even just holding it together, it goes together pretty well. And this bit goes underneath the arm. Oops, he says, like that. That's going to go on there. That fits under. So I'm going to get those 4 pieces together because that's like the main structure of the model, and I'll be back with you. Okay, so this arm, which is the right arm, which will go on this side of the body, there's a little bit there that it will attach onto. Here is the arm itself. So you can see the hole where that bit attaches onto. Here you've got a very irregular shaped hole, because that is where this arm bit goes into at the back here. So make sure you've cut that off with a knife. Be careful to get an exact fit on that, otherwise it will not fit in place. So that arm will go into that bit there. So I can show you that, hopefully. So that goes in there like that, like it's about to fall out, and then it attaches onto the side of the body with the arm going into that little groove there. So I'm going to do that off camera because it's a bit fiddly to show you on the camera, and I'll let you know if there's any problems. So there we go. So when you're done, you should have your arm pointing downwards with the palm facing up, and it should shimmy into that little hole there. That should fit on pretty well, pretty snugly. And then we can move on to the next arm, which involves this part here. Actually, before we do that, is that the belt?
That's the belt, yeah.
Yeah, we'll put the belt on first, and we're not knocking arms off. So the belt, again, like the previous one, there's a little square in the little belt part there. And this time, what angle is it at on the picture?
It seems to be going right.
Right. Okay, so the belt goes on pretty much like that from the picture. And then the other arm should just fit on there. So there's like a little nodule on that, but that doesn't seem to match up to anything on the reverse side. And that just goes on basically like that. So I'm going to stick that on and I'll be back with you. So that's the arm on, following a line of how the model's moving. So next is the head, which again is 2 parts. You've got the head and the hair. The hair doesn't actually connect onto anything this time. So what we're going to do is put the head on first. Okay, so there is the head on. Now back at the back is the space for the hair, which is just a flat attachment to make sure you clean that bit off at the top. So it goes on like that. So once this is dried, I'll put this on, and then I'll stick into a base, and then we'll move on with the next model, which I think we'll move on to Kyrie.
Okie dokie.
So next, the master, Kyrie. And there's her construction. So she consists of some fairly easy to put together by the looks of it parts, but very delicate parts, especially those shears. That bit there is terribly delicate. If that broke, I have no idea how I'd put that back together, to be fair, without putting some sort of support on it. It's so...
Yeah, bouncy.
Yeah. So the best thing to do with that is when you're taking it off the sprues to use a modelling knife. Otherwise you could end up with some really bad parts that wouldn't fit together. So there's a head, back of the head. Like weird like to do, they've made the face separate.
Yeah, it's a bit weird.
They do that a lot.
Yeah, they did it with Ophelia.
Yeah.
And Perdita.
So again, you've got to make sure you use a modelling knife for these to get all the bits off. So I'm going to stick the two parts of the head together first, and then they can be drying while we do the rest. So there, you can see it. It's a face and head all together. Then I move on to the body, which consists of this part here, where our leg is, and then we have the other leg which fits in there. So we'll do that. So there she is in the sort of leaping up position, and the top part of the body is this bit with the shears on. It should just fit onto there. Again, the sprue meets it here as well, so you've got to make sure these are very flat pieces for them to meet correctly. So I'm going to go ahead and stick these two bits together, let them set, and I'll be back with you. So there is the upper body and the lower body together. Next bit is her arm, which goes on that part there. It goes so her hand is forward in front of her. So I shall stick that bit on. So there's her arm in place. And then the last thing to do is stick the head on. And again, pretty straightforward. So I'll just do that. I'll attach her to her base, and then you'll see her again at the end. So next we'll move on to the Lost Love, which is her totem. Okay, so Lost Love consists of 4 pieces, which is a head, the smallest tuft of hair imaginable to mankind, for some reason, separate to the head, and then we have an arm there and the body there, which is only one piece. So the first 2 bits I'm going to stick together are these two. It's just a case of matching it the right way around. And then we're going to get the arm on and then the body on. If there's any problems, I'll let you know, but this should be straightforward enough to me not to bother have to go through it. So, but then again, who knows what might happen.
You said that about the unrow.
Yeah, so I'll put it together and I'll let you know if there's any problems. So there he is, very easy to put together actually, no problems at all. And he's just stood there with his arm in there. Almost in a Freddie Mercury impression.
Yeah, but he's holding his heart.
He's holding his heart in his hand.
And the smallest toothpick known to man.
That's the tiniest dagger in existence.
And his guts hanging out.
And his guts hanging out. Probably where it was shot in real life.
Mm.
So we're going to stick him to the base, and then we're going to move on to the Senshin. So this is Senshin 1. It consists of 5 parts. 2 parts for head. 2 parts of a necky body type part, and a tongue. So it's pretty straightforward to put together. In the inside of the tongue, inside of the head, there is a little slot there, which the tongue slots into. So it goes in there. Hopefully you can see that on the camera. It goes in like that. And then you can glue that into place with the other side of the head. Like so, push that together, make sure it's joined up correctly. That's good. And the body, 2 parts, just go together. So those 2 parts just fit together again, push them solidly together so there's the smallest gap imaginable, if there is any gap, hopefully. And then that just fits on top of it, like so. So I'm going to glue those 2 parts together, stick them on a base, we'll move on to section 2. Section 2, it consists of 4 parts. So we have this bit here, which is the main structure. We have a tongue and some spikes. So what happens here is that should fit in there like that. And then the other part of the head, oops, should glue onto the side. Just put it back in. So let's get some glue on this. That goes on there, like that. And then the other side of the body should just glue on there. And when you press this down, bear in mind there are some very small spikes along the back of it. It's quite sharp when you press them, but just be aware you don't bend them or anything, because they're still quite brittle. Let's get that on there. The excess off. There we go. So that's going to go on another base, and then we're going to move on to the Akirio. So Akirio consists of some big pieces. There we go. That's the mole, and this is the part that'll give you nightmares for the rest of your life.
I think
the face.
That's proper freaky. It's just like a bald head.
That's why this is the Halloween edition. Nightmares forever. I'm coming for you in your dreams. Right, enough of that. And let's get so the big body pieces first. So this is like the midsection body piece. So let's show you the instructions to this, just so you get an idea. If the camera will focus, thank you camera. So we've got the bottom part, and then that big part just to hold of, then the top part of the body, the head, hair, and arms. Okay, shouldn't be too difficult, he hopes. So we'll take the bottom part and this bit first. Get some glue on there, and then just in case I'm matching those two bits up, and waiting for them to dry. So that's going to make up the part that takes up most of the base as well. So we'll have to see what kind of base we're going to put her on. It might just be a green stuff base, because there might not be a lot of room to actually put anything on. We'll have a look at the end. Okay, so I'll wait for that to dry and then I'll move on. Okay, so the next thing is for the top part of the body, which just fits on there like that. So again, because it's a big piece, we're going to have to glue it and wait for it to dry fully before trying to move on. So I'll be back with you once those two parts are together. Okay, so that's finishing off drying. We're just going to stick these two parts together, which is the terrifying head and extremely long hair. So those two parts do just fit in one way, just like that. So we're going to get those two bits together. There is no movement there. It only goes in the one way. So that's quite good. So we'll get those two bits together. They can be curing while that is as well. Okay, so we have the head there, and we have that arm there. So this arm consists of two parts, which I'm going to stick together now. This is the right arm. So it should be forward like that, with the gnarled fingers pointing forward. And the part that connects to the body should be there. And those two bits just go together like that. So again, dry fit them first, like I'm doing here, to test it, and then glue them. So once those bits are glued, it should make it a bit easier. So next up, we're going to stick the head to the body. Nice bit of glue there. And then head goes at an angle so she's looking in that direction, like that. go on like that. And while that's being so nice and behaving itself, we shall stick the course on the left arm on, and that goes so it's backwards behind the oops. Like that. Creepy. And if we can turn it around without everything falling off, the arm goes there. It goes the other way, behind her head. Make sure that's in position. Like that. There she is. Creepy. So, I shall stand up. That's her base. It's a big base. It's a 50mm base. I didn't realise it was that big till I opened it. Should have checked the card really, but there we go. The original version of it goes on a normal size base, so I'll show you that in a minute when I show you the final crew. That's the difference in size of bases. I didn't realise it was bigger, I just didn't realise it was that much bigger. So, there should be plenty of room to put some detail on that base. So we're going to start by covering this base in a 2-part epoxy resin, aka green stuff, which starts life as blue and yellow. You can use anything you want. You can use putty for this if you want to do something similar. You can get bigger bases from Firestone games, from a lot of places. You can get bigger model display bases in the same style. It's just I didn't, because I just looked at the old models and assumed they were all the same sort of size. Silly me. I think the back of the box was an indication, because they're like actual size models, aren't they, on the back?
They are really, yeah.
I thought I was zoomed in. But I had reason for thinking it was zoomed in, because the previous version of the model.
Yeah, it's you'll see it. It is considerably smaller.
It's only slightly taller than a normal person.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which you may have already seen if you've watched my Reza video when I did the Resurrectionists, went through them all. You'll have probably seen it then. But I'll show you it again in a minute for some comparison. So what we're going to do, we're going to literally cover this base in green stuff. So now I've moulded it together in my hand while I've been talking. It's quite malleable. If you've never used green stuff before, it's great stuff. Best thing to do is just to dampen your finger that you're pressing it down with. Then your finger doesn't keep sticking to it. Plus it gives you a nice smooth finish then. Just have some water nearby. You can also use talcum powder as well, something that doesn't stick. I prefer just to use a bit of water. And now you just push that out to the edges so there's no gaps. So what I'm going to do is like a little Zen garden thing going on. So once we've pushed this out, I'm going to go and select some rocks now. Put that on that. So that's pretty much up to the edges. It doesn't have to be completely flat, 'cause it's still going to be representing sand, and sand isn't completely flat. I'm going to have that there. It gives us a little bit of room at the front to play with, and also note that will stick to it because it's heavy. Right, so I'll get some rocks. I'll be back in a second. What we've got here is some little pebbly type things, smooth ones. It's come actually out of the stuff you put in the bottom of the fish tank. It's unused. I wouldn't recommend you use any of that have been used. It's unused, bought from a fishing place. Aquarium, that's the word I was looking for. Aquarium, not stupid at all, honest. I'm sure the spirits are sapping my brain, and that's not even the alcoholic kind of spirits. So what we're going to do is we're just going to put these into this base, like that, in a similar fashion to this base here, so it kind of matches. So we're going to have 3 stones, there's enough room for 4, Does that look alright?
Yeah, well, that's quite cool.
I'll go with 3. So it's the same as that one, which is 3. It's straightforward enough to do, and then let's just check she still fits on. Yeah, that's fine. So now what we're going to do is we're going to use the scalpel. There it is, it's just a standard scalpel. I think, is this the Games Workshop one? I did have my own set of scalpels as well that I got.
The Games Workshop ones were plastic, weren't they?
Yeah, I think this is my own.
This one's your own.
Yeah. And the idea is just to keep this wet, do the same thing that they've done on that base, and draw around it, like that. Kind of how you do in a Zen garden, really. And then also like waves coming off the stones. So we're just going to do that. I'm going to do that on the other side, and then once you've done some waves, it's basically doing some lines away from it, just like that's got. So I'll be back when I'm done. So there we go. That's pretty much what we got left at the end there. And that needs to dry now. You can, if you want, just stick the model straight on there into the green stuff. I'm going to let that dry before I do that, and then we'll be done. So I'll be back with you once that's dry, and we'll have a look at the models together and the old models as well for comparison. So here we have the Onryo. Obviously we've got the new ones here and the old ones there. So they're a little bit bigger. I think they look a little bit, there's a lot more detail on them, I think. The old ones still do look pretty cool though. They're not that massively different. So you can still use them obviously. So I'm going to probably paint these similar to them, if not the same. They'll be very similar.
That's one thing I've noticed about the new Edition 2 models. They do seem a lot bigger than the Edition 1 models.
Yeah, they do. They do. I think they've scaled them up ever so slightly, but it does make some of them dwarf them in some cases. But yeah, so that's the Onryo. Let's have a look at the Senshin. So here is the Senshin models. These are the old ones, because I reckon up to 5 of them. There's only 2 variants, even though they're painted slightly differently on each one, just in a different colour. So the old ones, that's what they used to look like. So the new version of that one is probably this one here. So his body's a lot chunkier and looks actually like a serpent now, as opposed to just like some ethereal waftiness. So he does look like that is meant to be
a lot more oriental, to be quite honest.
Yeah.
It's what you'd expect, kind of thing.
I still like the old ones, but I think the new ones do look better.
Yeah.
And then this one, who's got like it's like a lion face. More like a lion. So you can see that it's a lot different. There's a lot more detail on that, all going up the back and everything. But again, it looks a lot more like a serpent than the old ones do. So that is the Senshin. So you can see the difference there. We'll have a look at the totem next. So here we have obviously Freddie Mercury style and bending over and all his guts hanging out style. To be honest, he still looks pretty cool as the old version. But yeah, he is taller, you can tell he's tall. They've both got a wide stance.
The other one's clean shaven, he's got a little beard on the other.
Yeah, he's got like a little moustache and beard, he's completely clean shaven. So the style has changed. Facially anyway.
Yeah.
Which I just remember what else reminds me of.
What?
He-Man. Just a stance. But there we go, cool. So let's take a look at the master herself. So we have completely different models. The motion in this one is amazing.
Yeah.
The way she's running. This one, she just stood there staring at somebody. That's kind of like, feels like a first kill. You know, she's still not quite
shocked.
used to it.
Yeah.
She's still a little bit delirious. This one, she's quite happily running around with the pair of shears behind her.
I think the shears have got more character as well. Those just look like a big pair of scissors she's got.
When you look at them, there's like detail going up the shears as well. So they are much nicer. And I think she herself's got a lot more character.
Yeah.
I think it is a nicer model, to be fair.
I think
I
it
do
shows
like
a progression from, like you say, from the first model where she's just learning about her powers and she's still stunned about what happened to her lost love and that.
It does feel a lot more like the new. Well, she's kind of got over it a little bit, and she's more sure of herself.
Yeah, she's more happier in the place that she is at the moment.
If she can ever be truly happy.
Well, yeah. But you know what I mean.
Yeah. So next we'll move on to the biggest difference of all the models, which is the Ikeria. So there you go. Obviously that's a massive difference in scale. That's why the base size is so much different. Which is why I thought it was just a zoomed in model because it's huge compared to the old one. It's on a normal size base. The design's similar in the fact it's got one long dress on, but everything else is different. The hair's different, the face is different, the elongated fingers are different. It's a completely different model. It's not really recognisable at all as the same thing. It is a lot more fearsome and a lot more impressive though. Though I did always quite like this model, but I think it is an improvement that one.
Is it meant to symbolise Kiriai's?
It's her wrath. It's like her spirit got split away from her at the moment, and that is her wrath.
I suppose the newer model looks a lot more like her, only big and wild and insane kind of thing. With the other one just looks like a banshee.
Yeah, pretty much. So that's it really. So that's pretty much the end of this video. Let's just we'll put all the new models together and you can have a look at them all together. And there we go. So a new crew for Halloween basically. So once these guys have been painted, I'll do a quick showcase for them. But for now, we both wish you a very happy Halloween, a scary Halloween, and remember, don't have nightmares. Take care guys, please like and subscribe, it helps out loads, and we'll see you again soon for more Malifaux.
See you soon.
Bye for now.
Bye.